Hey everyone. Well, I don't know what happened. We've got ourselves a little confused. Our guest, Professor Stephen Martin, happens to be in the UK instead of in America. So, oh, mate, I tell you, so instead of being in the morning, he's in the middle of the night. So we'd have to reschedule ourselves to an afternoon. But since we found out a bit late in the excitement, here I am to say hello to everybody anyway. I was just wandering around my shed this morning having a look at my oxalic acid vaporizer, and I was thinking, I wonder how I'm going to get that in the hole of the front of my bee boxes. So I'm going to have to rejig my entrances, which will be rather interesting. Oh, this is going to be a fun exercise. Hello, everybody. How are we all going out there? I hope we're all doing all right, going through the excitement. What's that? Hitting that like button. Good on you. Thank you very much. I would like that's the way to happen. Tell you what, it's an interesting journey, this beekeeping. I'm glad you're all along for the ride because it's going to be a time of excitement down here in Oz. Oh, drill a hole in the rear. I like that's a good plan. Is that what you do? Just stick a hole out the back and then you can plug it up. So you have it. So you put that in and then plug it in with a golf tee. Oh, okay, cool. Look at you go. You see, I'm new to all this excitement, so I'm trying to work it out. So what a good idea to have the entire world to help me, that you've all been through it before, so you know what's going on. What would you say? I'm a virgin to the mite at this moment in time. Oh, I guess that's a weird terminology, but anyway, hopefully I don't have to worry about them for another year or so, but I think I'm trying to make a plan for when they turn up because it's more about when, not if at the minute. Goody doody. I don't really know. What would anybody like to talk about? What about the excitement of the honey flow down here in Oz at the moment? It's looking really good. We've got the mallee and the actual. Yeah, that's me. Yes, a Varroa mite virgin. That's exactly right. A virgin mite. Actually, the weird thing is, I wonder how that happens because the mites apparently, when they turn up as a girl, has already been mated, and then she can lay an egg, and away they go. Whoosh! Next thing you know, you go from 1 mite to 6 mites to 6,000. It's kind of crazy when you do the numbers. I think it's like times by 6 every couple of weeks or something. So, anyway, you guys that know what's going on. Yes, we're going into spring. Well, we're sort of in the later part of spring at the moment, and being that we had so much rain, our gums have decided to flower like crazy. The last few years, we've had quite a lot of drought, so the gum trees are psyched up to give us a nice nectar flow. We've got some big cup mallee that's going off at the moment, which is quite crazy and really good. Got some nice pollen in it and some good honey. So it's nearly summer, I reckon. What are we in? No, October, November. So we've got 2 months of spring left. But heck, feels like summer here, although today it's kind of drizzle. And do we have small hive beetle? Actually, we do have a bit of hive beetle down here in Oz, but like in South Australia, but it's not too terrible because where I am, it's kind of like the desert. And so when they go out to reproduce in the sand, they get fried, but they do manage to stay around a little bit. So, but they're not a real problem. Up in New South Wales, they can be a real problem. So I don't know whether that's well, I'm glad not to have too much because apparently the mites and the hive beetles got to make life very complicated for the ladies. So I'm glad we don't have them so much. I'm not exactly sure. What have we got here? Serious is the future here in Australia. We won't need to treat for mites. Oh, okay. Would you like to elaborate on that, Mr. VW bus guy? That's cool. Well, are you traveling around in the VW bus? I like that for a plan. That sounds like fun. Wildwoods Honey Farms. Hey, folks, how are you? It's all happening here. We're all making it happen. We're just waiting for a response from this. What's going on? I tell you what, I don't know. It's an interesting world. Technology is out of control here. It's a different kind of bee. Oh, okay, cool. Is it able to... okay, a different kind of bee. Now you've got me completely confused. Grumpy's Muddy. The Asian honeybee. Uh-oh. Well, that's not necessarily a good idea because they don't much good for... Well, isn't that how the jolly mite got here in the first place, on the back of the Asian honeybee? Isn't that where they sort of spread from? So I don't know. I mean, anyway, they don't produce a lot of honey from what I gather because they like to swarm a lot. Oh, okay. Yeah, the commercial in Asia. Yep. Well, that makes sense. But who knows? You know what? I am not totally aware of how all this is going to play out. I have seen some really cool hives in Japan that I thought were amazing. They had little square boxes, and they had little bamboo. Was it bamboo like rods that they put in their box to make the honeycomb? I don't know whether that's the same bee. I guess. I mean, heck, who knows where we're headed? What have we got from Gramley's midwives? Doesn't everything come from Asia? Yeah, well, yes. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad, or I don't know. Tell you what, they're clever little people. They'll give them that. Like they've got lots of stuff going on. But as far as I know, the Asian honeybee is I guess we could learn to manage it, but I didn't think it was. Thought that was a problem coming into Australia anyway, but I might be wrong. Yeah, it's a smaller colony, and that's right. For pollination, and it's the same bee in Japan. Yeah, cool. Yes, but isn't that the thing with the Asian honeybee? Don't they swarm a lot? So maybe that's why they control the Varroa mite quite well, because they're always swarming and moving on. It's just interesting. But I don't know. I thought they weren't allowed in, but we'll find out. Oh, cool. I like your V-dub. That is cool. Can you put that picture back up? That was good. That is groovy. Oh, mate, I like it. Very cool. Sorry, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Oh, dear. Oh, so you've already got Asian honeybees in cans already. Yeah, well, there you go. So, I'm catching up with all this excitement. And what have we got? Does the Varroa mite affect the native stingless bees? Well, that's a very interesting question. I guess we'll find out very soon. I should imagine it will affect some of them, but not all of them, because especially the little tiny ones we've got down here in South Australia, they're like so small. I think they wouldn't even fit a mite on. they're like the size of a big fat mosquito. So I don't think the mites will affect them too much. And I know the Afronized honeybees. From our midwife there. She's got lots. Yes, well, the African honeybees apparently are quite good at resisting the mites, but they're also quite blooming hectic to work. So I don't know. I'm not sure whether that'll be a solution, but I guess they'd kill the mites and maybe, kill the beekeeper as well. So who knows where we'd end up with that mess. I think they have to have a slightly different. That's why in Africa they have the longer hives so they can work the bees from the back, and the bees hopefully don't know they're there, but be a brave man, I reckon. It's just not talked about. Well, isn't that typical? Nobody wants to talk about anything that's a solution. That sounds about right with everything in this world we live in. So how many is it? Well, here's a good question. Are you legally allowed to keep Asian honeybees? Now there's an interesting exercise. Large mites already on the native bees. Yeah, okay. There you go. Yes. I would have thought so. If the mites will affect the native bees, obviously, depending on what one they are. Like, are we talking about the stingless bees that we actually keep? And because down here in South Australia, we can't really keep a colony of native bees. We have plenty of independent bees, but none that are actually, I guess, viable for collecting honey as far as that goes. Tell you what, it's an interesting journey. I'll give it that. Oh, we've gone quiet. We're going to wonder what's happening. Oh, what's in the private chat? I'll go back over here. Let me know if you want. Oh, John's wondering if he wants to join in. Who knows? He might have something intelligent to say. What is everybody's thought in South Australia? I guess there's a lot of excitement down here about trying to keep the borders shut, and I don't really even know what I think about that. Just in terms of, we got Tortoise Players VR. Cool. Just in terms of the spread, are natives another vector? Well, I would imagine so. And not only that, never mind the native bees, the jolly bees that are in the background environment. I mean, I was wandering around down the riverfront the other day, and there's bees in the gum trees, and they're everywhere. So I don't know how you stop that happening. And I would imagine, heck, if they've got mites and they swarm and they end up on someone's I don't know, under a container or in a truck, or if you only need one mite to sort of start the infestation, I think it's only time, not necessarily. Yeah, well, what was the saying when it wasn't in Australia? They were saying it's only time before we get it, and now that it is in Australia, well, it's only time before it's everywhere. I think that's probably my appraisal of the mess. But how it'll affect, like how it affects the native bees, well, one would imagine they're very adaptable, these jolly little Varroa mites, what I can hear of it. For a blind little creature, it does pretty well to spread across the globe as it has. Don't know what the future holds, but I guess we'll find out together. Who knows? Oh, here comes John's going to help me out. He's going to pose a question. Look out.
How long have we been making the show, Dad? And what? We're coming in November.
Well, I think we're up to 6 years or so, aren't we? Something like that, 6 and a bit years. Oh, I think.
Yeah. So what we're trying to figure out. Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, roughly when I was sitting in your lounge room talking about how we could actually make beekeeping kind of interesting and fun, and give everybody a little bit of fun from, like to enjoy beekeeping. Like rather than, we're trying to make it approachable, weren't we, really, ultimately?
Definitely. Hey, Lisa. We're trying to figure out what are we going to do for our 6-year anniversary video. So if anybody has any ideas or any thoughts about what we should be doing, we actually got nominated for Program of the Year for Community Television for the Antenna Awards. So we're going over to Melbourne in a couple of weeks for that. That'll be cool. Yeah.
Matthew's just asking what's our thought with acid. Well, I think with the acid, it seems to me that's a pretty cool control method that they don't actually develop a resistance to, which is good. With a lot of the other chemicals, they seem to develop a resistance. But the only problem is, of course, that's a management issue with actually getting the vapor to kill the mites. They only kill the mites that aren't in the brood. So the cat brood, so you've got to do it 2 or 3 times to make it happen. But from what I can hear of it, mites are more about reducing numbers rather than actually killing them all. But a mead anniversary. Oh, mate, I tell you what, me stumbling down the stairs, that's maybe not. I've tried. Oh, my goodness me. I might have to make some non-alcoholic mead. I'm trying to be a bit better with my liver at the minute.
The aquarium on the porch, that was brilliant.
Yeah, mate. And I managed to stay married, so that was good.
We do need to do a new build. We've done the fridge. What else have we done? The observation hive, the chimney, the fish tank. What else are we going to do, Dad? What's the next one? You got any ideas?
Well, I was going to make a what are they called? In Eastern Europe, where they have the upright hives, like Sylvanian. Is it Sylvanian hives?
Yeah,
I was going to make a Sylvanian hive in a fridge. Was my thought. Like have the entrance out the back and then have the door at the front and create a horizontal. No, is it? Oh golly. Well, anyway, the opposite way around. So you can pull the frames out sideways like they do in the Sylvanian hives in the fridge. So, but I don't know. I might get to that. I might not. It just depends. There you go. And I can't even. I'm so great. I can't even pronunciate it properly. But you got the message. You know what I'm trying to say, Simon. I'm terrible. It's golly gosh. Yeah. Yes. Very good. VW bus. Yes, he did. Not European or American. So why don't we use Asian honeybees? Well, there is a very good question, my friend. I don't really know. That's above my pay grade. And I think the main excitement with Asian honeybees, from what I can gather, is because they swarm a lot, they're harder to get a honey crop. And perhaps it's like most things. It's because it's not necessarily what we've done in the past. And Randy's saying hello to the Bush Bee Man from Ohio, USA. How are you, Randy? Good on you, champ. Well, thanks for joining us. Slovenian hives. That's what I was trying to say. Yes. And okay, that's got 1 vote. I thought that would be cool and to build one. We might have to. Thing is, we have to buy one so I know how they work, because pulling the frames in and out seems like a cool idea with the mesh. I was hoping to make a whole trailer full of them, but anyway, we'll see what happens. Oh, I tell
I'll
you.
see if I can find a picture of it.
Oh, I've seen a few pictures of them, but the actual outworkings of them is the interesting part. How they actually operate, like to pull the frames out sideways. So I don't know. Anyway, that was one thought I had that would be an interesting exercise. And then the reason I was thinking about doing that was because I thought if I could pull it off and get them sensible and make it eat, it might be a very good idea for queen rearing. Is my mad concept. If I could get it to work, then I could use them, and they might be easier to for queen, to rear the queens. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
That could be a good idea. I'd be keen to see you do it. At least give it a go.
Yeah, well, there you go. They might have to entail some of your engineering skills. Yes, Asian. Well, as far as I know, the Asian honeybees are slightly smaller, and they don't have as big a nest. And I honestly don't know too much about them. Maybe we'll have to have a research here, and we can ask. Might be good, might be shit, deCaux. Yeah, that's about right. I'll tell you what.
I think we're gonna do some new merch. We got a new design for a T-shirt with "Hello Ladies" on it, and we can also do some more might be good, might be shit stuff. Decals for cars. We found a supplier for stickers for cars, which would be cool. So if everybody's interested, let us know in the chat, and we'll get it out in the next couple of weeks. Is the plan.
I thought about a dome hive too. I was going to have one of them in my outside room, but the outside room's so full of other muck. I don't know what. That was the other thing I thought would be cool is to have. I've seen the hives that they actually have the entrance outside, and the actual hive is a decorative thing inside your home. That would be kind of cool, but my wife decided that was just a step too far. There they are. That's exactly right. I want that old truck too. That'd be cool. And then you can go inside the truck, and then you can actually look after them from behind the hive entrance, which I reckon is a pretty cool option.
It would be cool. And then is that design got it so then the truck puts they put the legs on it and the truck can drive away, and then they can move that other one, or is that other one permanent?
I think the other one's like a trailer one, and like the trucks.
Oh, okay.
And then I think there's a trailer that slides. See how those adjustable legs? I'm pretty sure a trailer drives underneath it.
That was always my question. Now looking at the picture in detail, what I always questioned was, what happened if you had a dead out and how to get it out? But it's made so you can actually take each individual hive out and replace it.
Well, you access it from the back.
Yeah, I understand that part of it. But if you need to just take the whole box out, it looks like each of those are individual boxes still on those shelves, and so you can service them from behind, but you can also remove the boxes from the trailer if you need to. I don't know if one rotted out or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, I mean, they've been handling bees longer than the rest of us.
Yeah, no, I just didn't understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a very cool option, actually.
Where are we going? Sorry,
where are we up to? Hello, we're bouncing all over the place here, gentlemen.
Sorry. Hey, here we go. This is a question from Lawrence.
Hey guys, do you have Varroa in your hives yet? No, we don't, thank goodness. I did a few checks the other day and I haven't found any yet. I'm tipping that they're going to be here within a year or two, but I don't know. I mean, there's some people that are hopeful that we'll get a bit longer, but me, I'm erring on the side of caution is where I'm at the moment. But it seems that it spreads pretty reasonably quickly once it gets its foot in the door, which it has. But foot in the door, that is. So I don't know. We will find out. Stay tuned as it moves across the countryside.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun
Probably
day.
Depends what.
We'll try and make a video and cover it. But it does happen as much as we don't want it to. So similar to the AFB back in the day.
Yes.
I got a question for you, Dad. Have you got a favorite episode that we've made?
I got a favorite episode. Oh, gosh. I've got one that I'd rather forget.
Or memorable episodes. Is it one that got released? The one you forgot? The one I forget, or is it something that we can't?
No, it's one we did when we went and got that stupid truck. I'd rather forget that one. That was crazy. That was definitely in the realms of
dangerous, or
no, it was just well. Maybe. Nah, I don't know. It was just not real bright.
No, and the story behind that, I actually feel kind of still bad about it. But when we were filming it, I had a GoPro on the truck, and I was in the ute, and we went around a bend, and I got a little bit further up the road and waited for Dad. I thought, maybe he's just stopped for a minute. Anyway, I waited there for 5 minutes, and eventually went back to see where he was. And I got there, and I didn't actually understand what was going on. And he was all covered in muck and everything, and I was just laughing my head off, thinking it was hilarious. Dad's in a bit of shock. And it wasn't until he explained what happened after me, like, spending time laughing, and he was a little bit non-responsive, that I realized how bad it was and how dangerous and potentially life-threatening it was. So I felt terrible laughing at the time, not having the full context. So, yeah. Wow. But it is one of the most memorable episodes for me.
Yeah.
I remember more memorable for the fact that Dad didn't tell my sister until... like, my sister didn't know about it, and she watched the episode a week or so later, and that's how she found out about it. And I recall that she rang you up, Dad.
No, mate, I tell you what, she was very concerned about me. But anyway, I was here to tell the tale, and I only burnt my left ear, so it wasn't too bad. Could have been a lot worse. That's the thing. Anyway, I reckon this is an interesting comment from our mate, the VW bus dude. And he's quite right. And I'm tipping that you've been watching my measuring skills, and you're wondering if I'm marking things out with a texter and a very dodgy ass ruler. You're thinking I need some exacting measurements. Well, maybe I should just buy the thing already made and just put it together. And even that would be scary enough.
Even that's part of the entertainment is seeing if you can pull it off.
I tell you what, there's nothing that a bit of sandpaper won't fix, apparently, if it's too tight. Oh, dear. What have we got? What have the government okay for treatment? Yeah, well, so far, from what I can gather, they're still kicking around the idea that depending on where you are as to what treatments you're allowed to use as far as registered goes. I think in New South Wales, in the red zones, you're allowed to use the strips and the acids and other stuff. But here in South Australia, I'm not really 100% sure whether they've registered anything or not. But being beekeepers, well, probably there would be people doing whatever needs to happen to keep their ladies alive anyway. And what have I got? Did you get any follow-up interest in beekeeping for the kids after school visits? Oh, mate, yes. I had the only logistics drama there is with that is the kids and the teacher involved is really cool and wanting to do something about it. But the logistics of insurance and bees in a school environment gets complicated. So I think they would like to just have, and then that gets complicated for me if they come to visit, and then the logistics of the insurance of actually if someone gets hurt or stung or something else bad happens. And so, yes, they're very interested, but just making it happen is complicated.
Well, we do have a good example is that Jesse, who works for me as an editor and camera operator and helps on the show, when he first started working for me, he had no interest in bees whatsoever, and obviously working on the show. What did we do the other day, which will be a video in a couple of weeks, Dad?
Yes, well, Jesse decided to get a hive of his own, so he's joined. The whole purpose of the show is to share the love of beekeeping and make it cool and make it acceptable and make it. And as soon as you start getting some bees, well, anybody who's had more than a bee sting and has actually been looking after them knows you'll fall in love with them, and then that's the way it goes. And so that was the whole idea, to get people to love beekeeping. And then, there's plenty of scientific folks out there that can share the next idiosyncrasies of it all. What have we got? Yeah, oh my Lord. Yeah, someone else remembers the truck video. Mate, I tell you what, I'd rather forget that one. Poof, what
did we do with the truck, Dad?
Well, the truck's very useful. I put it on the block as a place to fill up my spray plant. So, but I actually only wanted it. I only wanted the truck for the crane on the back of the full thing. And it's this anyway. We should have just.
Before you put the blame on me, you were the one that came up with the idea of driving all the way back from Lamoureux.
Yeah. I wasn't going to put the blame on you. I was going to say that the jolly thing, if they hadn't started, it would have been a good idea. But the bloody thing decided to start, and then it's like, oh, well, maybe we could drive it. And then, it's a slippery hill of stupid decisions. That's what that was. Oh, dear. What have we got? River Life. A combination of drone comb removal and brood breaks are a good place to start. Yes, I agree. And these chemicals worry me a long term. Yes, well, that's exactly right. But the cool part about it is, after talking to Randy Oliver the other week, we don't have to use the chemicals that leave the residue in the honeycomb and actually in our hives. So they've already been through all of that. So we just need to actually use the chemicals that they're using that they've found that haven't got any residual problems. So if hopefully being late to the party, at least we know which thing we can do. It's a bit like when you roll in late, you know, if there's a bowl of chips still on the table, if you're late to the party and you go, there's a reason why that chips are still there, because they're not the ones you should be eating. So I think there's a reason if we come along and we can just say, let's not reinvent the wheel. Let's go with what our predecessors and the people that have played this game before us in different countries and just run with that. And luckily, it's around the whole world. So that every environment that could possibly be a Varroa mite situation has actually got them. So we can take it from our American brothers and our UK fellas and everywhere from anywhere. So I'm sure. Here's Australian government regulation. Well, yes, I think as far as I know, we are being regulated to do it, and we are already doing it anyway to monitor the little darlings as they arrive. I think it's interesting, depending on how big you are, as to how many hives you have to do your washes on. But no, I don't know. Luckily for me, it hasn't got here yet, so we're still on the periphery. Is that the word? On the periphery? On the edge? Colony numbers and apiary numbers have been in decline since the 70s in Australia. Yes, tell me about it. I know, because as agriculture has changed, you know, like, I mean, the dryland farmer boys back in the day, they had weeds at the side of the paddock, and so there was pollen and bits and pieces for the ladies to forage on, as well as the gums for flowering. But of course, they're not really farming for the beekeepers. They're farming for farming, and so they're doing what they're doing, and we've just got to adapt. And there's only so many places for bees to be. And I think that's the other thing that people miss the memo on when you're beekeeping, is that bees are much the same as every other animal. They need to actually have enough food to eat for themselves, and the honey we collect is just a bonus. What's living Adam man? And it's one of the primary industries that is not really subsidized, then add to the importance of honey and the lack of banning neonicotinoids. Oh, yeah, well, good luck. That's the whole thought. Exactly right. We are underrated as far as beekeepers go. I mean, they say we're worth a few $1 million or whatever it is, but if you added up all the stuff that we pollinate, well, mate, we're worth a fortune. But that's, I don't know. Hopefully we could actually get the rest of the agricultural world to help support us. Oh, John's muted himself, so he's talking, but nothing's happening. Oh, no. Here he comes.
Cool. I thought I'd bring Jesse in quickly to talk to the audience about what we're planning merchandise-wise, especially with the lead up to Christmas and the 6-year anniversary. What are we thinking?
Here we go.
Well, we're going to do another release of some T-shirts with the... how would you describe the logo? It's you with the Mother's First Flow logo, holding up your jar of honey. So we'll do another release of T-shirts because I know everybody loves a good T-shirt with your face on it, Mark.
And that one will have "Hello, ladies" underneath.
Yeah,
because everybody like we took a poll the other month about what merch people wanted and what sayings, and that was the top one.
Yep, cool.
I love your "Hello, ladies" saying. So yeah, we got that, and then something that we are pretty excited about going forward is getting some hive tools with like the Bush Bee Man written on it, or maybe sayings written on it, the logo on it, something like that, which will be really cool that beekeepers at any level can have in their toolkit and use out on the field, which I think will be pretty cool. So we're excited to give that a go.
Yeah. So let us know if that's something that you're keen on, and we'll do pre-orders and that, so then we can gauge interest. And yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah.
And then, how was it getting your first beehive the other day?
Yeah, good. They're going well. I have checked on them morning and night, making sure they're alive. They're flying in and out, which is good. I think last night they were getting a bit excited because there was some weather coming in. I didn't check on them this morning, but it was bucketing with rain and windy, so I have a feeling they would have been hiding out. So, but no, good. Very good. The garden, Mum's loving walking around the garden, seeing more bees. So, it's good.
Cool. Isn't that an interesting thing though, Jesse? When you once you get a beehive, you start noticing that they know they're like a barometer for themselves. They're kind of like, look, there must be some weather coming because the ladies are excited.
Exactly. Like I went inside to Mum after looking at them last night and said, "Oh, is there weather coming in, Mum?" Because the bees are kind of out and about, looking like they're racing around, getting ready for something. Turns out there was.
Yep. No, they know what's happening, and I don't know how they figure it, but they can sense it in the air or whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll find out when you go to work them if the weather's coming in and it's going to be exciting. They do not like to see you. They're like, get off, put the lid back on. It's going to be a storm, you crazy human.
Yeah. We learned that the hard way when we were trying to get some photos, didn't we, Mark? With the one in your backyard. They weren't too happy with us then.
Yes. No, they can be unimpressed. What do we got? What's that, Simon? Don't give the lads any more ideas. Goodness gracious me.
I think, Lawrence, don't worry. We Jordan and Jesse that he's not opening the hive.
I wasn't
just looking at it.
I was just watching him from the
he was just watching him fly in and out. So.
I don't have a bee suit yet, so I'm not game enough to open it up and have an actual look.
Yeah. Well, that could be a cool T-shirt. I don't know whether everybody get the memo, but it should be one. Don't give him any more ideas. I like that. I like that idea. I was thinking about having a Space Invader shirt with the mites getting shot and saying Mite Invaders instead of Space Invaders. But anyway,
I think that could work really well. What do you guys think in the audience? Do you think that would work? Let us know.
I think it'd be kind of cool, like the mites, and back in the day when it was that instead of being those little spaceships.
Are you envisioning it being in that the pixel art, as in like the actual blocks? You know how the Space Invaders, the blocks.
Yeah. But instead of being little spaceships, and then you can have the little laser beam, and you could have the mites in the box instead of the spaceships, and you could have the little platform at the bottom. I don't know what the copyright of all that would be, but anyway.
Or do you turn like the spaceship into? I don't know.
No, I've got a vote for me already. Yeah, I reckon it'd be cool, Esther. I reckon it'd look awesome if we got it. We'll get that cartoon dude to draw it up. I reckon it'd be crazy. Yeah, it might be good. Might be a Varroa. That's exactly right. I'm trying to work out how to word that because.
Well, that's probably the closest we got to good wording on that.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I was thinking. I was going with it. Might be shit. Might be Varroa. But anyway, that might be awkward.
But I think that works.
Yeah.
But do it with it.
Yeah,
would you do
it
spelled that way, or would you do it MITE?
Well, you get MITE. That's perfect. That's what I would have. That's the way I'd spell it.
No, cool.
Yeah, because I mean that's the whole excitement we've got going on. Like. And then, I don't know, another one I was thinking of is having in your bee suit and chasing the mites around somehow. I'm not really sure, but I haven't figured that out. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. But anyway, email us or leave a comment or send us some ideas about what things you would like to see, especially leading up to Christmas, because it's something that we want to get it out there for you. And we're also looking at rearranging how we do that shipping so it doesn't have to. It can come from Adelaide, so it's a bit cheaper. Hopefully, you can sort that out by the next month or so. Would be cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I think we should wrap it up.
Yep. Thank you all for joining us, and we will endeavour to get young Stephen on the line next time. So, Professor Stevens, like I said at the start of the show, he's in the UK instead of America, so the time zones are upside down and inside out, a bit like me.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Catch you. Bye. And if I haven't actually repeated myself enough times, don't forget, if you're enjoying the show, click like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Heck, let's just grow beekeepers and the love of the whole exercise. Be there or be square.